Hello, it's Joni McMahon here. It is a beautiful, beautiful day in the mountains of Canada today, and I wanted you to have the joy in looking at this scenery while I talk about what I want to share today. It's taken me quite a few years to be able to do a video like this, and my hope is that by my sharing my experience in this area, that it wouldn't take any of you as long as it took me. My topic today is the loss of a loved one, grief. Now, my husband died in 1997. Now, this could be the loss of a child, it could be the loss of a mate, but the loss of someone very significant is what I'd like to just discuss here. My husband had cancer for 4 years. I actually did not expect him to die. We had been such troopers together for close to 20 years, actually. And what I mean by troopers is that, we'd have a problem and we'd solve it, and then something else would come up and we'd solve it. And so when he got this cancer diagnosis, I just thought, well, this is just something else that we'll solve. And so when he died 4 years later, I actually went into shock. And I had post-traumatic stress disorder symptoms. I went into early menopause, like from that day, the day that he died. And all kinds of things started to happen that I had no idea how to deal with them. The grief inside my body began to be so intense after a couple of weeks after his death that I felt like I was going to come out of my skin. There was rarely a day when I didn't feel like I could cry most of the day. Now, for most people, this grief experience, I don't think lasts as long as it did for me. Like for me, it's been almost a decade before I can honestly say that it feels fully finished. And the reason for that is that all kinds of old past issues came flooding into my body, into my vibration, so to speak, after my husband's death. So not only was I dealing with the present issues in front of me, like raising my 2 young children, working, the dishes and the laundry and all of that daily stuff, but I was having to begin to deal with all this past stuff that I really didn't know how to do. And the crazy thing is that I was a trained psychologist at the doctorate level. So now when I'm looking back, I'm thinking, wow, if someone that has all those skills, doesn't know what to do, how about the average person? So now that I feel like I'm fully healed, I'm able to talk about this in a way that has given me an understanding of things and has helped me lead me to an understanding that's been so much more comforting. If you think about the law of attraction, which is one of my favorite topics because it's so important that anybody that wants to have a magnificent life, if they really understand the law of attraction, they can have that because they can get the law of attraction working in their favor. Well, if you think about the law of attraction, it basically, the basic it states that whatever you want, you can have. Well, when you lose someone, like a loved one, that isn't the case. They can't come back into your physical experience. They're not going to come back. And so I had to come to grips with that. It just felt so, I had been used to getting everything that I wanted. I without even knowing it, I was, accessing the parts of the law of attraction that worked in my favor. And all of a sudden, this that I wanted, this wonderful man back in my life, I couldn't have. Now, after cleaning up a lot of old stuff through something that I had discovered called journey work, I began to study the teachings of Abraham Hicks, Abraham and the Jerry and Esther Hicks, the teachings of them. Now, Jerry and Esther Hicks are the teachers of the law of attraction. And they have such a thorough understanding of our life and our life's purpose and why we're here on this planet, and such a grasp of infinite intelligence that it was through them that I began to become completely at peace with the death of my husband. When they started to teach me, and I discovered their teachings on what actually happens when we die, the death experience is a delicious experience. When someone dies, they actually get transported right into pure positive emotion, into non-physical energy. And when a person who hasn't transitioned, but the person left behind, say in my case, if I would have been in a high positive place after my husband died, I would have had complete access to him and his energy. I now know that. And now even this many years later, whenever I want to speak to my husband, I know how to access his energy. I can actually call his energy forth and then feel him. And I definitely did that at the beginning too. When I was in just this raw emotion, I could actually feel his presence. And now it's kind of like having an old friend with me whenever I need him. And ever since I've learned about this transitioning and what a delicious experience it is, there's been a calmness that has come over me that I never anticipated. I feel such an appreciation for my late husband, for the love that we shared, and it's not like he's gone away. It's like he's just changed focus. He no longer could stay physically focused, and now he's just focused, but at a non-physical level. To me, that's very refreshing to know that he's guiding my children, that he's here for me whenever, and that he has access to the resources in the universe that help to create worlds. So when I ask him for guidance, that this guidance is very profound. That is the only thing that has helped me come to complete peace, is this deep knowing that death is delicious. There's nothing to worry about when someone dies, and that they actually are available to you at any given time. And that's whether this person is a child or an adult, anybody, you can have access to them. But you do need to be in positive emotion. So I highly recommend listening to the teachings of Abraham. They have a site called abraham-hicks.com. There's so many life issues that a person can just come to peace with by listening to Abraham, because they speak from broader perspective, from a perspective that we don't have, being physically focused necessarily. Well, I hope you found this helpful. If you have found it helpful, please leave a comment or rate this video, and I look forward to reading them. Bye for now.